Okay, so Action Fleet fans, we're going to talk about the X-Wing series here. There are a lot of different variations to these. All of the features are the same, so I'll talk through the features on one of them, and then that way we don't have to go through every single one, but I will show you some of the differences between all of them. So we'll start with just the standard release, which is this version here. So this is the clean version of Red 5. This has Luke Skywalker and R2-D2 with it, so you can see Luke in there. Both characters are removable. So Luke does come out. You can see he's got brown boots on there. There is one version here that does not have brown boots on, which is the flight controller over there. But you can see there's no weathering on this one. Again, sorry, R2 pops out here. And you can see R2's body is clean as well. There is a battle pack version that has a little gray square painted on right there. But he does not have that on most of these. On the X-Wing, the wings separate apart and lock like that. So you could have it in kind of a flight mode, or you could have it like this where they're closer together. Again, all the X-Wings have the same thing. They have the same 3 landing gear pieces, where the landing gear can come out like that. And there is the standard version. So the next one would be the dirty version. So this is where there is some weathering. You can see the weathering difference on the wing, on the wings there. A little bit of weathering difference on the front. If we flip it over to the underside, really no difference on the underside. Maybe it's a little bit of weathering in there on the underside of it, but not much. Same R2, same Luke Skywalker, same features. There is an Avon exclusive, which is basically this exact same dirty version, which is this one here. This one just comes in a white box. But again, no real difference here relative to the others. Same exact weathering. So same R2, same Luke. You then have the Hasbro re-release version. This has significantly more weathering, and it actually has the paint color difference on it. So I'll pull this one off the stand here. This one comes with an R2 unit, but he's actually glued in. So you can see R2 is significantly weathered on there. They actually have the yellow paint there on the front, and the wings have a lot of weathering on it as well. Underside also has a lot of weathering, and that is the Hasbro version. This one does not come with Luke Skywalker in it. I had an extra version, so I just threw him in there. And that's what it looks like on the sides. So quite a bit more detail in the paint on this one. Then you have the Zaap Pewter exclusive version. So this one I featured the Darth Vader one. This comes in the Galactic Battles pack. Let me show this compared to the other one, because this is very different. This is actually a very cool looking version. Same features. The wings open. Like that. And then it has the landing gear on it, and then it also has the Luke and the R2 unit that come out. I'm going to pull R2 out of there. He's using it pretty tight. But here's what Luke looks like. Just looks like a normal Rebel pilot. Then we move on to the Red 5, the Degobah version. So this is actually probably one of my favorites. The detailing on this is really, really cool. So they actually tinted the window so it looks like it's been in some muck. You can see all of the paint detail all over this. It does have the painted front to it as well, the painted yellow. It's got it kind of all over the side. The underside looks pretty normal. Doesn't look like a whole lot different on that one. But then also the one difference here is R2 actually has some weathering on him. Uh-oh, dropped him. Oh, there he is. So here is the R2. He actually looks like he's a little bit dirty. Kind of hard to catch there on the camera, but it's got some browning on him. And then Luke again just looks the same. No real difference in terms of the Luke. But really cool version, the Dagobah Deco version. Then you move on to the flight controller. The flight controller, like I said, is the only one that has really a difference in the figure. This is the standard dirty version of the X-Wing with just some weathering on it. So this guy does pop off of here. I'll show you just the difference in Luke's boots here, because this is really one of the main features. There are two versions of the flight controller. There you can see he is with his black boots on. There's two versions of this. One of them is the version that I have. There's another version that has a Death Star trench paper thing, and then it comes with two Micro Machine TIE fighters, so that you could basically fly this thing down and shoot the TIE fighters. So wings open, everything else is basically the same. You then have on the actual flight controller, you have your little targeting computer. The Star Wars logo on this one is gold. It shoots out the lasers. When you do that, the button flat or the light flashes on there. And then the lasers that come with this are the Y-shaped lasers. That's the best way to describe it, versus the plus-shaped lasers. So those are the only ones that will fit in this guy. And then it does have some cool features to it here as you press the buttons.
This is Red 5, I'm going in. I can't shake him! Use the Force, Luke. This is Red 5, I'm going in.
And those are basically the sounds that it makes, and you could run through a lot of different combinations of those. But that is the flight controller. Then you have that covers basically all of the Red 5 stuff. So that's all of Luke's ships. So now we get into Biggs. So Biggs is actually the one that comes in the Alpha series. So both of these versions here, I'm getting ready to pull forward. These are both Biggs Darklighter. They have the same astromech and then the same pilot. So I'll just use this version here to show you the differences in the astromech. This is an R2 unit, but he actually doesn't have any color to it. He's a grayish color. And then Biggs is actually really cool. The paint detail on his helmet is awesome for a figure of this size. So here's what he looks like. Then he's got the little checker helmet on. And then the two different versions of this ultimately, so you can see that he is Red 3. And the two different versions are, you've got the white rings on here, And then on the other version, you have the red rings on the front. So the R2 unit is the same. Take Biggs out here again so you can just see what he looks like. Again, same Biggs pilot. Same paint scheme on his helmet. Those are the two major versions for the Alpha series. Again, you can see those here. The one on the right side with the white paint looks like it's just a little bit cleaner, doesn't have as much weathering to it. That's what it looks like on the underside. And again, same features as all the other X-Wings. They do come with two different color stands, so you've got a gold stand and a silver stand. It does come with the X-Wing concept as well, so this doesn't really have any articulation to it, but it is pretty cool to see this concept ship. That's what it looks like. And then you have the final three here. So we've got two different Wedge versions. So I'll show you Wedge first. So Wedge is red 2. So you've got the one that comes with the actual, this comes with the Yavin playset. So it does not come with a stand. I just had an extra stand and I use it for it. But you can see the obvious damage here on the wing, the damage here on the window. You can see his R2 unit is different. So he's got the silver top to him and the black emblems. Wedge is also different. The one that comes in the actual Yavin set, his flight suit is a really bright, like neon orange. That's one of the ways you can tell which Wedge pilot. And you can see with his helmet there, he's just got kind of like that grayish, greenish color on there. Little bit of weathering there on the front and on the sides. But the big thing is the damage on the wing. And then this is the single pack version of Wedge. So this one came in an actual box. You can see the one major difference here beyond the red 2, the 2 lines, the weathering, and then the one yellow ring on there. That is supposed to be there. He has the same astromech. This one's a little bit different. It's got a little red dot there on the front relative to the other one that comes in the Yavin playset that does not have that. And his flight suit is actually a little bit more of the normal orange color. Not quite as neon. So there is your Wedge. Helmet's a little bit darker, matches a little bit closer to what the movie was like, but can only do so much with a 1-inch figure. And then the final one is Porkins. So here is red 6. So this one is a little bit more rare, a little more difficult to find. This one has a little difference in the weathering. You can see obviously the red 6, the 6 lines there on there. His R2 or astromech is very similar to Biggs. There is, maybe just a little bit more detail on the actual R2 unit itself, but for the most part it's the same one. There is some weathering on the wings, a little bit of weathering on the side. So one of the ways you can tell this one really quick beyond the 6 lines is just the weathering here is a little bit darker on the wings. And then here is our buddy Jack Porkins here. So this is actually pretty cool. They actually made this figure a little bit more overweight than most of the others. So you can see his helmet color is different. And then also, if we turn him sideways, see he's got a little belly on him. And a beard. And there you go. There is your X-Wing line of Action Fleet. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Otherwise, thanks for watching.